Hi guys, Dumelang Baketong, Dumelang hi. I hope you guys are okay. Before we get into the topic, I would just like you guys, kindly ask you guys to, hit the button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. My subscribers are growing slowly, but I would just like you guys, anyone who's watching, just please kindly subscribe. It helps a lot. And also I've realized actually some of my videos got like ads on them. I didn't place them, but I see that they are there. So yeah, man, kindly just watch the videos, guys. I know they are annoying. I know those, yeah, but kindly just, I want to grow this channel, man. And you know yeah, so I want to get into the topic of the day, education in the rural areas. I come from a place, village. Most of villages in South Africa, I know that there is no education, right? There's no education, there's no motivation, there's no success story where I come from. Worst place I come from, the Northern Cape. If you look at, I come from the Northern Cape where majority of our great grandparents or grandparents, our parents, our uncles, our aunts, there is no education, right? Literally in my family, my sister, she was the first one to get her matric in our village, and followed by me, then my young brother, then my young sister, if you listen to watch my other videos, and that's the reason why we've suffered, witchcraft a lot, but I'm not going to talk about witchcraft today. I'll touch just there and there a bit on witchcraft, how it's linked with education. Recently there've been kids who passed their matric, but in the most hard way. Because of kids fall at school. A kid will try to take education seriously and go further with education, and there will be, you know um parents who lawyer bewitch other kids because of their kids did not go to school, or they let their kids to drop out of school. I come from a village where kids drop out of school as early as primary school, middle school. I always make an example with I in my village at the time I was in school, right? um we will be in a class, in one class, right, around 55 and above, between 55 and 70, right? By the end of the first term, you know the second term, when it starts, when you go back to school for the second term, I know that 30% is going to be gone, right? Out of that, I'm probably, like, say, 16 a class. When we come back, I know we're going to be around, 50 or 40 something, right? Second term, when we go back for the third time, I know that we're probably gonna be 40 in a class, right? By the end of, when we go for the fourth term, we will be around 30 in a class, right? By the time we write exam, literally we're gonna be around 20 something. you know that's how much, that's a type of a place where I come from. Even today, there are kids, who are around 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, who does not go to school, who just sitting at home. And because of kids where I come from, they drop out of school because of, they work, in a farm, right? White people, livestock, and grapes and potatoes, and maize mill farms. They drop out of school because they could go and work there. And which is something that they do, something that their grandmothers, their parents, their grandparents, their parents, their uncles, they've just been doing, and there's no progress, and the kids, they just follow that route. And uh, and um and for me, for us, with my siblings, at home at least, we took education seriously. We went further. That's the reason why there was witchcraft that are happening, on us a lot. If you check out my other, videos, you will see the witchcraft that I'm talking about. I share the story. I come from a village where there's also the other thing that makes kids to drop out of school because of we only have a primary school until this day. We only have a primary school, middle school. We used to go to another village, which is, I don't know how many kilos we'll go, how many k's that will go to school every day. That's the reason why other kids they drop out of school. That's the other reason. Also the other reason because of we from replanting, farms, rural areas, deep rural areas in the Northern Cape. Most of our kids, the other kids, they don't have, IDs. We come from parents where parents they don't have, IDs, identity book, right? And we know that when we go to school or high school, you need to have ID. If you don't have ID, obviously you can't write, in at school, right? That's the other reason why our kids drop out of school. But the lack of schools where in my area where I come from, it's the reason why kids drop out of school. You know, we don't have a school. And I just wish, we always hear, people who coming from, overseas or, government, they always want to build schools in Gauteng, at Gauteng. And I'm just like, there's so many schools in Gauteng. Schools are needed in the rural areas, particularly the Northern Cape. And I know that it's not just the Northern Cape. Also, I know the story of the Eastern Cape where we've seen documentaries where the kids go to school long distance, barefoot. Some kids they jump, they walk over the water to get to school, which is it's just a BS till this day that our government. But I don't like, you know, but man, I wish that our municipality, I think, not I think, our municipality is Joe Taula how it's Ewe. I don't know if I say that right. Because I'm from rural areas, we grow up not knowing what's our municipality. So I just wish they could just build a school where in my areas because of there's so many villages that there's no schools, there's no, and when you grow up after we went to primary school right in my village, middle school we went to another village. From there, after middle school, we have to go to town. If other kids they don't have relatives, to go to towns to school, it's a problem. Likely for me, my mom was staying in Rustenburg. My mom was staying in Rustenburg where I went to school at. That's where I went to school. And that time it was the first time, literally in high school, um, when I went to for grade 10, 11, 12. That was the first time I heard the word bursary. From the villages, I personally have never heard the word bursary until I went to high school. That was the only time. And even that time, I could not go to, after matric, I could not go to school. And that's the only reason because of there was no budget, there was no money for me to go to school, but because of I did not know what to study. And um, I didn't know my purpose on earth, until later I found my purpose, which is my purpose. It's art. I'm an artist. And that was having not having money, you know, it was the other reason why I had to not know what to study. Just guys, I've got disturbed there. Let me just I'll finish. I'll do the other part. There's someone just calling me. I'll just do the second part. But basically, what I'm just trying to say, man, is just we need schools in the rural areas. there's no education where I come from. I come from place where there's no education, none whatsoever. I speak the most simplest English right now, but I know people, 99.5% of people who where I come from, they can't hear, what I'm saying. So yeah, man.